Hey guys, it's practically a party down at the border. Did you see how many people are there? It's a right proper fucking fiesta, man. Nah. It's pretty overpacked there, and it's looking an awful lot like kids in cages or kids in space suits. Like, I don't really fucking know, but some leaked photos, some leaked videos, and a whole bunch of authoritative sources, or people who are supposed to have at least a little bit of authority, not really wanting to talk about the main core issue, instead just wanting to obfuscate it a bit, or blame Orange Man, because reasons. But here we go. Representative Henry Cuellar of Texas released several photos from an overflow tent facility in Donna, Texas, showing extremely crowded conditions as hundreds of illegal immigrants and minors pour across the border. But instead of hundreds, it should be thousands, but at least they're getting beautiful, beautiful conditions to stay in. Like, as you can, okay, listen, when I was growing up, Echo was a big brand, and if that is somebody who is currently in such distress that they need to flee their home country, they have time to wear a hoodie that probably at retail goes for $150, $200. Interesting. I mean, look at these people. None of them are adhering to social distancing policies. Like, that lady's not wearing a mask. Like, what? This is impossible. And you got the little Hot Pockets blankets back on, as you can see. But no bars, at least. They're just fencing and, I don't know, little bubbles for 3 dozen people? Like, what would you guesstimate those little makeshift cells at? 20 by 20, maybe? Something like that. And instead of actually addressing these pictures here and saying, what the fuck is going on? Jen Psaki struggles to explain why migrants get hotel rooms. Yes, National Guard has to sleep on the floor, because addressing the major problem of those temporary facilities being completely and totally overrun by people that are saying that, yes, we came to the border because Biden got elected, because Trump would have probably just turned us back and told us all to go fucking back to our homes. So yeah, Psaki struggled to explain why President Joe Biden, because there's such an overflow of people in those makeshift facilities, they're getting put up in 4-star accommodations, just like how Bill de Blasio is doing that in New York with bums and putting them into 4- and 5-star hotels. Or at least he was. I don't know if he still is, but whatever. Democrat logic, it just works across the entire country, right? Psaki did not dispute reports the Biden administration awarded a Texas-based nonprofit $86 million to provide hotel rooms for 6 months for approximately 1,200 families. And I'm sure they're all families who crossed the southern border. Newsmax reporter Emerald Robinson questioned Psaki on why Biden administration would provide hotel rooms, food, and shelter for migrants, even as American National Guard troops were forced to sleep on the floor while they protected Capitol Hill. It is a disparity. A lot of people are pointing out that our National Guard was treated one way and these illegal immigrants, illegal aliens, but I guess you're in the press room, you can't drop all the spicy rhetoric, are going to be put in hotel rooms. Psaki defended Biden's actions, noting the president personally assigned or appointed a woman. Personally called the head of the National Guard in response to the news that the troops were sleeping on the floor of the parking garages in January. I know that some time ago, a month? There were reaction time. But there was a reaction. He took the time. And the only person who went down there and did something for those National Guardsmen that were stuck in that parking garage with 1 power outlet and 2 bathrooms, and there were hundreds of them in there, was Representative Madison Cawthorn, who actually brought them dinner and checked in on them. But that's neither here nor there. Let's get back to the facilities themselves, because once again, if you're looking for good journalism, there is a one-stop shop, and that is Project Veritas. Not only did yesterday, or I guess Friday, but we reported on it yesterday, they're kicking the living piss out of the New York Times. They're going to be going to trial on that one, but they have some more pictures, they have some more video, and some more information about what's going on in this temporary facility in Donna, Texas. Project Veritas obtains never-before-seen images inside Texas detention facility. Illegal immigrants are cornered in tight spaces and wrapped in space blankets on the floor. Who knows, they might need to get reheated later. Just over a month ago, Customs and Border Patrol completed the construction of the 185,000 square foot facility in Donna, Texas to house countless migrants who come across the border daily. The facility will not allow nonprofit lawyers officers who conduct oversight of these detention centers to go inside or even see photos of the conditions. Why would you do that unless you have shit to hide? Oh, right. That's why. These photos were taken within the last few days. There are 8 pods with 8 cells in each facility. At any given moment, there are an average of 3,000 people in custody here. Holy shit. So the illegal immigrants are separated by age or physical size, depending on the room. 50 were COVID positive in these cells over the last few days. Okay. There have been multiple sexual assaults? No, you don't say. Normal assaults? Really? And daily medical emergencies. I struggle to believe all of that. The Biden administration continues to not say anything. The new Project Veritas insider working within the Department of Homeland Security has leaked documents warning of a Central American-based caravan headed for the United States border. So it's only going to get worse. Yay! Project Veritas released a bombshell video, which is going to be linked. It's in this video here, but I don't like just playing videos because I think that's boring. But as you can see, it was the exact same pictures that representative from Texas had. They just have the Project Veritas watermarks on them because, hey, you know, they did the fucking good work. They might as well get the credit for it. And as you can see, yeah, these are actual people, okay? They are actually in those. These aren't staged pictures. This is really what's happening, okay? And I definitely overestimated how big those little pods are. And yeah, there's still no fewer than a couple dozen people in there. Just a rough approximation. It looks like they're about 25 by 12 feet, maybe something like that. But hey, at least they have a TV in the corner to keep them entertained while they're there. This is just, ugh. I don't like this. I don't like how many people are there. I have a bunch of problems with all of this stuff. First and foremost, they shouldn't even be there. They should just get caught, turned back around, and sent back to their own country. I think that would be the most humane thing to do. This, sticking everybody on top of one another, is just as bad, but of course, releasing them into border cities, which something else that Biden's team is doing as well, is probably the most egregious thing. And this right here, just being held for an indeterminate amount of time, being wrapped in tinfoil space blankets. So you charge them with what? Crossing the border illegally? Are you hoping to squeeze some money out of them? Like, I don't get it. I know that those fucking Green New Deal policies aren't going to pay for themselves, and you're going to have to start extracting money any possible way that you can, but this ain't it, Chief. This ain't it. But the guy who's supposed to be in charge of this stuff, DHS head Alejandro Mayorkas, what has he had to say on this? Border crisis underway because Trump dismantled entire immigration system. Oh my fucking... Are you serious? It's Orange Man's fault. It's Orange Man's fault. Oh my god. Let's see what this AIDS-riddled toe had to say. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas blamed former President Donald Trump on Sunday's State of the Union on CNN for the situation at the United States-Mexican border. The anchor, who looks like a foot, Dana Bash, asked the Biden administration, though, is, as you mentioned, now allowing unaccompanied children to be trafficked, into the United States, different from the Trump administration. Interesting. That's one way to put it. Clearly, you don't have the infrastructure to handle this many children right now. It's almost like they knew how they could get across the border. And this is the drug traffickers, the human traffickers figured, hey, fuck it, we'll just grab a kid, get across the border, and we should be able to get there eventually once we get through the processing facilities. But back to this. As I mentioned, there are more than 600 children have been in border protection custody for more than 10 days, far longer than the acceptable and allowed by law. That's 3 days. So, did you change the policy too quickly without just giving them as many outs as humanly possible? Did you change the policy too quickly without having the infrastructure in place to take care of these children? Mayorkas retorted, "We will not abandon our values and our principles, but we will abandon the law. And we will not abandon the needs of these young children. Turn them back. Send them back." That's what this is about. We are executing on our plan very poorly. It does take time. It is difficult. Our plan includes the deployment of the Federal Emergency Management Administration. Oh, okay, so you need to send down FEMA. Okay. You seem to have the facilities. What's wrong with using ICE? What's wrong with using the Department of Homeland Security? How many more useless bureaucratic institutions do you need there before you can start looking at all the people that are there and just fucking pointing and tell them to go the fuck back? To assist HHS in building its capacity more rapidly to shelter the children. Why is that your problem? But it is in time. But it is taking time, and is difficult because the entire system was dismantled by the prior administration. Are you fucking retarded? There was a system in place in the Republican and Democratic administrations that was torn down during the Trump administration. What? But Joe built the cages, and then they criticized Trump for using the cages. Not to the extent that Biden's currently using the cages, but I guess that's just a little bit of an inconvenient truth, as it were, that Mayorkas just doesn't want to talk about. But yeah, of course, whenever one of the Biden officials doesn't necessarily have an answer at the ready, what can they do? Just go, Trump. It was all Trump's fault. And then CNN will just dart. Just like that little dunking bird. It'll just continuously nod in approval. Whatever you say. Fucking dolts. Why do you think your guys are hemorrhaging viewers? Because you aren't even remotely telling the truth anymore. If you just send people back, if you wouldn't offer them amnesty, if you wouldn't make it such a fucking sweet deal to come over the border, they wouldn't be flooding to the border in record numbers. I think it's pretty fucking easy to understand that one. That's also pretty rich for the DHS head to say that, oh, the Trump administration dismantled all of our regulations and facilities. Meanwhile, you guys are the ones who are trying to dismantle the border wall, and that's going to be costing billions of dollars. But it's weird, right? Because they don't think that a border wall is going to work. They think that walls are stupid, unless it's going to be around the White House in perpetuity. Congressional leaders discuss $2 billion package for new Capitol fencing and security personnel. This was something else that came out on a very, very busy Friday. Congressional leaders are discussing a new $2 billion funding package that would bolster security around the United States Capitol and shore up vulnerabilities exposed by the January 6th attack, according to Thirst that's familiar with the talks. If only they could use that same logic with the border, because there's so many illegal aliens flooding towards it. Why don't they use that opportunity to show the different vulnerabilities that were exposed by that to shore up the border security? How about that? But yeah, remember how we took a look at the National Guardsmen that were going to be there through the end of the summer. There's supposed to be 2,500 of them there. And it's supposed to be ramping down right now to about 5,000 and then 2,500 through the end of the year. Yeah, it looks like that's just going to be a permanent thing. Who the fuck saw that coming, right? So get used to the razor wire. Get used to the chain link fences. Get used to the Mylar blankets as well. None of this shit is going anywhere. That is just another L that Biden voters can post. Or they'll just stick their head in the sand because fuck it. At least he doesn't post mean tweets. Ugh. And with that said, guys, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.